Welcome to West Country Wanderings and welcome to another one of my monthly vlog series. If you're a new subscriber to West Country Wanderings, just newer on this channel, just tell you about the format that these videos take, my monthly videos. We come to a certain location within the West Country, perhaps a lesser known, and it certainly is today, and I'll tell you more about where we are shortly. We have an explore around the town or village and look at the countryside, and then tell you a little bit about the history and the famous people from the area, as well as telling you about what's been happening on the channel West Country Wanderings and what's coming up for the month of August. So why not join me here on the monthly vlog? So where are we today? I've decided to start exploring the North Wessex Downs AONB, Area of Outstanding Natural Beauty. So it's in the northern part of the county of Wiltshire, and that's indeed where we are today. And the town that I'm currently in is close to the edge of the North Wessex Downs AONB. So as well as doing the history of this town and also having a look at some of the people that are from it and notable people, we'll also be exploring later on in today's video part of the North Wessex Downs, and I hope to revisit this area again to bring you future videos from this area. The town I'm in today is Calne, C-A-L-N-E. It has gone through troubled times in the 1980s, and I'll explain how that happened, but it's also undergoing a revival at the moment. It has some beautiful parts to it, a lot of culture, a lot of history as well. And it's kind of a bit of an undiscovered gem here in Wiltshire. Some other towns in Wiltshire get a lot more attention, places like Bradford-on-Avon, of course, and the main city of Salisbury, the kind of capital of Wiltshire. But Calne lies about 15 miles from the county town. So although Salisbury is the city in Wiltshire, the county town is actually Trowbridge, and we're about 15 miles from Trowbridge. We're also about 16, 17 miles to the east of the city of Bath. And today, getting here, I came through a town called Royal Wootton Bassett, which just lies to the north of it. And you'd probably be familiar with that town due to its military connections to do with RAF linemen and Remy. It also has a large army base there currently. Now, it wouldn't be West Country Wanderings, would it, without some railways and canals. And Calne used to have both of those, and I'll tell you more about them in a little bit. I'm just high up in this park here, just down below me here with this beautiful park, and it's actually quite big, just on the edge of the town. There is a restored section of the Calne arm of the Wiltshire and Berkshire Canal. So we've got a really great map here just to show you where we are and where the Wiltshire and Berkshire fits into the other canals that I cover on my channel West Country Wanderings. Swindon is the biggest town in Wiltshire. In fact, it's not actually in the county council area of Wiltshire anymore. It's a separate unitary authority. That's the biggest area of population. We're down here at Calne, which is close to the town of Chippenham. Bath is around here, and the other day when we were at Inglesham on canal update number 10 on the Thames and Severn, that's up there where it joins the River Thames, of course. We've also got the famous Kennet and Avon Canal running red along the bottom, and the Thames and Severn going back up here towards Saw Junction where it joins the Gloucester Sharpness Canal. Now you will see that although the blue and the green is the Wiltshire and Berkshire Canal, Calne actually was on a little spur of it. And this is this spur that's been partially restored here in the town of Calne in Wiltshire. So here in the Castlefields Park in Calne, we have this wonderful restored log. As you can see, Wilts and Berks Canal and Castlefields River and Canal. We'll come onto the river in a bit, and also the railway that was here. So the canal here opened in 1810. It comes off a spur from Stoodley Bridge, further on down that way off the main part of the Wiltshire-Berkshire Canal. And sadly, it closed in 1930. It's great to see this section restored here in Castlefields Park. Now, we will be covering more sections of the Wiltshire-Berkshire Canal. In fact, quite an extended bit has been restored in the town of Royal Wootton Bassett. As I say, I came through that town today. And just briefly to tell you, it connects the Kennet and Avon Canal at a place called Semmington, and it joins the River Thames at Abingdon in Oxfordshire. This here is Cherhill Well. In fact, it was an important supply of pure water for the town of Calne. Now sadly, towards the end of the 19th century, between 1889 and 1890, there was a typhoid outbreak in the town and a lot of the town folks died. But if they'd actually used this water, and some of the town folks were fortunate to do that, they would have been saved. But yeah, it's here and it still provides an important source of water in this park here. Now Calne is situated on the River Marden, M-A-R-D-E-N, and this also brought about the town's fortune. Not only did it provide water for our canal arm of the River Calne arm of the Wiltshire, but it also provided power for the various mills in this area. In fact, the trade in Calne grew in the 18th century on the woolen broadcloth industry. I was trying to get my name around that when I was trying to remember it, but yeah, woolen broadcloth. And there are a number of mills in the area still exist as well, obviously been probably converted into apartments, but we'll see that when we come to the square. You can see the wealth of the town and those buildings around that part of the town here. So now, following the River Marden, but also the track there, you see the two ladies with walking dogs, that's actually National Cycle Route 4. But not only is it National Cycle Route 4, it is also the former railway bed of the Calne branch. The Calne branch ran here into the town from the town of Chippenham. And sadly that closed in 1965 with Dr. Beechin and all that. But it's now been converted into a brilliant cycle route. So if you live in Calne, you can just get on your bike and cycle all the way into Chippenham and now catch your train from there. What I've decided to do now in the vlog is to give you a taste of the town. So I'm going to go into vlogging mode, change my lens over a microphone and just give you some shots. I'm just going to walk through the town and just give you a flavour of the town, and then I'm going to sit in the square and tell you a little bit more about the history and the people that came from this town here in Wiltshire. Outside of the town centre, that busy shopping area, though, is delightful with all the flowers. We have this little square here. You can actually come and pick your own herbs. It's obviously a community project for growing flowers as well. Really, really good to see, again, by our River Marden. Now the steps just below me there are known as Proclamation Steps, and for time immemorial they've been known as the steps where people, perhaps the mayor of the town crier, anything would be read out to inform people of births, marriages, deaths, wars, peace, etc. Beautiful quiet corner here by the churchyard of St Mary the Virgin Church here in Calne. And now on this delightful green, a triangular shaped piece of land which is beautiful, right in the heart of the town and next to the church. In fact, it's called the Heritage Quarter. Lovely buildings here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a break, grab my lunch and a coffee. Then I'm going to do some bits to camera to tell you a little bit more about the history of Calne, and then we're going to move on to, well, I've got something rather interesting to show you. I hope you might have included a clip at the start, because obviously I haven't edited it yet, so I'm filming it. And yeah, so hopefully you enjoy that. I'm going to take a break, and I'll probably come back here this evening after I finish filming and the North Wessex AONB, and take some photographs and include those of this beautiful town here in Wiltshire. I'm really pleased with this town, how it's turning out today. Lovely town here. Hope you're enjoying vlog number 12 here on West Country Wanderings. In 978, Calne was the site of a large two-storey Saxon building. And less than 100 years later, by the time of the Domesday Book, it had already been recorded as being an important settlement and market town. Indeed, the reason for that, it was on the main coaching route between London and Bristol, the present day A4. In fact, the A4 still passes through the heart of the town, or just outside the edge of the town centre here. It can be a little bit noisy. There isn't actually a bypass, and obviously some of that traffic has now been moved on to the M4, but there is still quite a bit that travels through here. Now, we've said about the woolen broadcloth industry here, and obviously that was because of the River Marden and all the mills that were able to power themselves because of that river. And that brought the town significant wealth towards the end of the 18th century. In fact, all of the buildings that surround this square here were actually come off the back of that prosperity. In fact, all of them are listed, and I think many of them are Grade 2 listed as well. And as I say, I'll come back here to take some photographs and show you those later in today's video. Now, Calne's other claim to fame is it has a famous stately home nearby, one Bowood House. It's not National Trust or English Heritage, it's private, but it is open to the public, and I'll include a connection to the website or a link to the website of Bowood House if you're interested in visiting that, and perhaps that somewhere we'll be able to go on a future episode here on West Country Wanderings. In terms of notable people from Calne, the town certainly has a higher number than average of those. I won't give you all of them today, but I'll just give you some of the key highlights. First one was one Edmund Rich, who was born in 1175 and died in 1240. He went on to be the Archbishop of Canterbury, a very prominent archbishop. Now, a leading figure in the English Civil War was John Pym. In fact, he was a well outspoken critic of both Charles I and James I, and together with 4 other protagonists and his potential arrest, that was what led to the spark that lighted the flame of the start of the English Civil War. At nearby Bowood House, aforementioned Bowood House, one Joseph Priestley, who lived near here, discovered an important element. If you remember your chemistry back at school, we had that periodic table, didn't we? You remember there was obviously different types of elements. We had the metals, the inert gases, and I'm trying to remember the rest of them now, the bases and the alkalis. But the important element that was discovered just outside the town here is something we all need to keep ourselves alive. In fact, I was talking about it in the woodland video, wasn't I, not long ago? And of course that element was oxygen. Now, another famous Calne resident built on the back of that discovery of oxygen, and again it links into my woodland video, was Jan Ingelhausen. And he discovered the mechanics of photosynthesis. In fact, he linked obviously Joseph Priestley's discovery of oxygen and how plants use that with light, as we all have around us, to get that going onto their leaves to produce the sugars. The poet Samuel Taylor Coleridge also lived here for a while he was writing his biographer Literature, great big tome. I'm not going to be able to read you that today, but I'll include a link of that if you're interested in that here too. In terms of the creative arts, we've mentioned some of Taylor Coleridge, but there are more. There's also the musician Julian Cope, and I'll put the link to, some subtitles about his most famous hits and the band he was in below as well. Also the actor David Hemmings. He was in a very famous film and a controversial film called Blow Up in the 1960s. He lived in Calne for some considerable years until his death in, I think it was 2004. And finally, Sir Michael Tippett, in the world of classical music. He also lived in and around the town here in Calne. So we're now going to leave the town of Calne and move on to a little village called Cherhill. And there's something atop of that village which I think you'll find really interesting. So see you in a bit. So I've now left the town of Calne and I've just come 3 miles east along the London Road, along the A4, to this delightful little village called Cherhill. Beautiful little church. I just insert a shot I've just taken of that. Really quiet village. Some lovely thatched cottages there behind me as well. I've just parked here because we're going to start our walk now to the top of the hill where they have the White Horse. There's also a monument on the top of that as well. So this marks our start at the North Wessex area of outstanding natural beauty. So there's our White Horse. We're going to cross the busy A4 and then walk up the public path, and then there is a monument at the top as well. So we're going to climb to the monument, and when I get to the top I'm going to tell you some more about what's been happening on West Country Wanderings and what's coming up. Now before we begin our ascent to the top of the downs there, the North Wessex Downs, there are a couple of interesting placards here. One of them tells you that this White Horse at Cherhill is one of 8 in this area. I'm familiar with the one at Westbury because if you go, anybody who's been through on the train goes through Westbury. Westbury of course is an important junction in the southwest in terms of railway. So if you're going up from Penzance towards Paddington, you'll know all about Westbury and you can see the White Horse from the train there. But there's also ones at Pewsey, Marlborough, Hackpenhill, Broughtown, Cherhill, and this is the one here, Alton Barnes, and the town of Devizes. And Devizes is another town we'll probably cover at some future point because it has canal connections. You can hike, it says, the 90 miles to see all the Wiltshire White Horses. Well, we won't be doing that today. This isn't a walking one, this is just my monthly vlog. Now the other plaque here is really interesting because it says that the White Horse here was carved in 1780 by one Dr. Christopher Alsop, and he was a GP from the town of Calne, and he wanted to create the style of the painter Stubbs, and I think he certainly achieved that. And thankfully the White Horse here was restored in 2002, and there's a little poem, and I'll just read it to you because it's really, really interesting. We could have paved it with cement and made it incandescent, but we did it properly, the way it was meant to be. In Wiltshire, chalk is grey. When the sun is shone, chalk is bright. A top dressing now and then will see the horse more white. Please come and help us do, or give £1. Thank you. I love that. I think that's great. So that, yeah, it was restored by local people here in 2002. So let's go and have a closer look. As you're walking up the footpath here, you can certainly see the chalk, very, very thin soil here, as you've saw for that clip there. And those plants, blue flowers growing there, I think I've mentioned before, I forgot the name of them. I'll try and find that out, set that as a clip. And that helps, the farmers grow those to help fertilise the soil. And of course that's really important here because the soil is so thin, as you can see evidenced by this chalky footpath. So now we've just climbed up a little bit and I've gone over a little star. It takes you into what's known as Cherhill Downs National Trust. And of course there's open access across here. It's kind of edged in yellow and brown or gold on the OS map, which means you don't have to stick to the public right of way. The main footpath actually continues up in through some hedges, quite dark, as it is a dull day today. So I thought I'd make my way directly across the downs, across the thin soils here and this grassland to get to the monument and then on to the horse. Now, I was reading that the horse was actually covered up in the Second World War with grass or turf. And the reason they did that was because they thought that the Luftwaffe would be able to use this horse and the others in this area as navigational aids. Now we've come to the summit, or near the summit. I'm just below the monument, and before I show you the monument and the white horse a bit closer up and tell you a little bit more about that, I thought I'd tell you something about my channel now. And just a review of the last month, of the past 4 or 5 weeks. There was 10 videos in all between this video now and the last vlog, which of course was at Forest, and I said Froster. Well, I don't know why I said that. Forest of Dean in West Gloucestershire, that's what I meant to say. And if you have watched that, thank you very much. That is my most watched vlog, monthly vlog to date. It's in excess of 300 views, 350 views. In actual fact, this is vlog number 12, so we've come a full year of doing vlogs. When I first started my channel, West Country Wanderings, back in February of last year, of 2021, I wasn't doing monthly vlogs. I didn't start till the August time. In fact, it was one Saturday morning I decided just locally to go for a walk and just do a talk. Didn't really have anything set in mind. And the format, the monthly vlog format, evolved over the next 2 or 3 months until it settled in the format that it is today, where I go to a certain location and tell you about the notable people and the history, and also about the channel. So the first video that I did last month, or this probably early July or end of June anyway, was Cotswold Walks 8. It was the 8th one in my series, Cotswold Walks, and I took the train to the beautiful Oxfordshire town of Charlbury. And the story behind that one was about 2/3 of the way through filming it. There was a gentleman who stopped me with my camera and asked me what I was doing, as often seems to happen these days. And he then took me on a tour of other parts of the town that weren't quite so obvious. He was explaining bits of history and showing me some cottages and almshouses and that fabulous Quaker church there, which looks absolutely beautiful. I did include those shots towards the end of that video. It seems to be really well received. There will be some more Cotswold Walks coming up. More about that in a bit. Oh, I need to sit down after all that walking. Oh, it's just beautiful here, isn't it? If this was a really windy day, I probably wouldn't be able to do it because I'm really high up and the tripod will be shaking. You'll be hearing lots of wind noise despite my little dead kitten I've got on the top there. But hopefully it's not too windy at all, and the sound hopefully should be okay. The second video I did last month was looking for King Arthur's cave. Now this was a bit of a tale to this one. One of my relatives lives in Herefordshire near the town of Rossendale, which we have kind of covered, well actually on a previous monthly vlog. I did a monthly video from there. And she told me about this King Arthur's cave, and I'm like, King Arthur's cave, what's that all about? I'd never heard of it, and I don't think a lot of people actually had. It seems to be a reasonably well received video. And I decided to approach it in a particular way because of the trickiness of filming it. I couldn't just go in there with a vloggy style, because I don't have a load of lights or anything to light the cave up. It would have just been a kind of a murky, smeary mess on the screen. So what I decided to do was to video it with myself walking in using a lens, a fast lens with a wide aperture f1.4, which I've spoken about, that lens I've spoken about before, and then use some very long exposures between 20 and 30 seconds to get some photographs and add those in with the video mix and add in some atmospheric music, and yeah, that was the video. And I just told people a little bit about it. Now, no one really thinks that King Arthur actually lived there. It's kind of a bit of a fable, and nobody really knows about the Knights of the Round Table either. But there was legends that local people did live there many thousands of years ago, perhaps as far as 10,000 years. But nobody really knows. There was a skeleton that was found in there, which I said about in the video, and that made its way off to Jamaica. And somebody asked me, why did it go off to Jamaica? I had absolutely no idea. It seems strange. And the boat sank and the skeleton sank with it, but maybe it was spooked a bit like Tutankhamun's tomb. I don't know, I really don't know, it's pure speculation, but interesting. I really enjoyed making that video, particularly from a technical point of view, with the long exposures and trying to get the video to look right with the very little light that I had to deal with inside that cave. And the next video, number 3, that we had this month was part 4 of the 7-way. Well, I started the walk from Casous, well, I actually caught the train to Casous and went on to walking towards the town in Paris of Newtown. I really enjoyed that walk, although it was tricky to do. In fact, it was the most strenuous part of the 7-way so far, because the sheer number of hills. Now, I've just walked up here to the top here by the monument and the White Horse, more of that in a bit. But it wasn't like that on that stretch of the 7-way, because you had a stretch going up, then down, then back up again. Oh, wow. And after I'd done all that and filmed it, I got to Newtown station wanting to catch the train back home again, only to find the next train had been cancelled. And you think, okay, that's fine, there'll be another one along. And indeed there was another one along in hour and 15 minutes, I think it was. But unfortunately, that one made me miss the last train from Cheltenham Spa station to where I needed to be in Gloucestershire. So I missed my last train home. But thankfully, GWR came to the rescue and paid for a taxi to get me home. So that it all ended well. But my anxiety levels were through the roof. I was thinking, oh my God, am I going to have to spend the entire night sleeping on the platform at Cheltenham? But no, thankfully it was okay. I am really enjoying the 7-way series. Part 5 has gone up now as well, so I might as well tell you about that now. So that's gone up. That was an easier walk, a much longer, in fact, the longest distance I've done on any of my walks in one linear route. Well, it was actually 23.5 kilometres along the 7-way, but I did some additional walking, because towards the end I walked from Welsh Pool along to the River Severn to close the video off, and that was getting on for another 3/4 mile. Another 3/4 mile back to the railway station, so you can add on an hour and mile and a half to that. So I probably walked about 26k that day, so it was a bit tiring, but it was flat and it was wonderful seeing the Montgomery. Part 6 will be coming up soon, very soon, probably in the I'll probably be filming it next week, weather all being well, and that'll take us from Newtown to, no it won't, that's wrong, it'll take us from Welsh Pool to Carew Green. And that'll take us across the English border as well. So look out for that one if you're following the 7-way. As I say, I'm enjoying doing it. I don't know if I will finish in the city of Bristol this year. It all depends on the way. I'm not rushing it. I'm taking these videos as they come, and I want to make each one as best that I possibly can. So I need ideal conditions. I need my fitness levels up. So I have to choose the day with the weather and everything else to fit in with it. Train strikes, that's another problem, to fit into it. So it's going to take a little while to do. And of course, if we go into wet weather towards the latter part of the autumn, it'll be a no-no, because the footpaths will be too muddy. But anyway, if you subscribe, you haven't already subscribed, then YouTube will tell you when part 6 of the 7-way lands on my channel, West Country Wanderings. We then had Bicester Military Railway. Now, if you've watched the video, you'll know that I used to live in Bicester, because I used to manage a retail store there, without giving too much of the video away. And I do a little bit of a video tour, because I don't normally do towns, as you know. I did do Calne today. You'll probably notice that I'm more relaxed here, because there's no one around here on the downs. This is fabulous. This is my kind of place. I probably appeared a little bit more tense down in the town there, but I did enjoy my visit to town. But yeah, Bicester Military Railway, when I lived there, I was vaguely aware of a military railway, but it was all a bit hush-hush. And recently on Twitter and on YouTube, I come across some other military railways, and I realised there wasn't anything on YouTube to do with Bicester Military Railway. Well, there was one vague clip and a reference to it at the Long Marston Open Day a few years ago, so I thought, ooh, I think we need to do a video about this. Even I realise my region that I cover is Oxford and west of that, and Birmingham and south of that. And I am, as you know, making an exception for the 7-way, because I want to do the whole thing from source to sea. It starts off obviously outside my region. And Bicester is a little bit to the east of Oxford, well, to the north and east, so it's slightly out of my region. But I thought that people would be interested. Oh boy, were you interested in it? Yeah, it's gone really, really well, that video. I enjoyed making it, although it was a very, very hot day. It was a lot of walking. You can't do that, visit those sites by car. For one thing, you'll probably get the military police suspicious of you if you keep stopping by gates by militarily establishments and driving to the next one and taking photographs. So that's why I decided to do it entirely on foot from Bicester Village railway station. But yeah, I certainly had a great time doing that one there. I then caught the train again down to Cornwall this time to meet up with my daughter. In fact, we went to Parr again, and a lot of people just change the train at Parr and go up to Newquay. Probably don't realise what a gem of an area that is. And there was a two-part video. We had a look at Parr Beach, and that was just wonderful. It has that white sand, really, really nice white sand. It was slightly marred by the seaweed that had been washed up. Well, that will go. It's just one of those things. It does wash up occasionally. You do get that, particularly on the southern coast of Cornwall. You'll see that because it's obviously, that's the English Channel. You don't get so much on the Atlantic coast, on, you know, the Bude, Perranporth, St Ives side. But yeah, on the south coast of Cornwall, you get that. But yeah, still a lovely beach, but really quiet as well, considering it was early July when I did the visit. And we went there on a walk on the southwest coast path to Polcaris Cove. Now, that was an absolute gem. I hadn't really heard of it. Well, I hadn't heard of it, full stop. It was my daughter that told me about that. And yeah, that was terrific to see that. And that's been, again, well received on my channel. And if you watched it or commented and liked it, I do appreciate that. Thank you very much. Before I continue with what's been happening on the channel and what's coming up, I've got some other important news I want to share with you as well. So that's really exciting. So stand by for that. I just thought I'd show you the monument. Well, there it is. There it is behind me. So I've just turned the camera around to where I was doing that piece of camera here on the North Wessex Downs. Sadly, it looks like it's part of it has been partially damaged. Now, another YouTuber, Louise from Southwest Sundays, probably about 3 or 4 months ago now, time goes so quickly, she did the Wellington monument near the town of Wellington in mid-Somerset, and this seems to be of a very, very similar style. Now, that one's owned by the National Trust. I'm not sure if this one is owned by the National Trust, although this is National Trust common land here. I don't know if they own the monument or whether it's owned by the local council. I'll find that out and put that in there. That one there in Somerset, they did actually do a repair on it a few years ago. It's now been reopened and restored. This one looks like it's got some damage to the mortar joints on it. We'll go and have a closer look in a sec. And for that reason, you know, you get silly people trying to climb these things, don't you? So they've boxed it in, so they've got a wooden fence around it, and they've got these metal bits as well, as you'll see, to stop people trying to climb that, because it does look a little bit unstable, and obviously it is going to need some repair at some time so the thing doesn't fall down. But it's fabulous to see this top here of this hill on the North Wessex Downs here in Wiltshire. So it's called the Lansdowne monument, and it was designed by Sir Charles Barry and built in 1845 by the 3rd Marquis of Lansdowne. And the reason he built it, it was in memory of his ancestor, Sir William Petty, who was a physician and surveyor. Now, it is owned by the National Trust. They repaired it in 1990, but as you can see, it does require still some significant work to the quoins, the Bath stone, and that is going to cost a lot of money, which they don't have at the moment, obviously with the pandemic and everything. Until they can get a budget together to get this restored fully, I'm afraid that the scaffolding has to remain in place for public safety, because you'll have bits flying off the plinth and people trying to climb up it and making it worse. So sadly, that's why that's there. But hopefully at some future point, there will be a budget to get this lovely Lansdowne monument fully repaired on the top here of the North Wessex Downs. Now, before we go on to the White Horse monument itself, and where I will actually wrap this video up today, and also got that exciting news about the channel. Before I do that, I just wanted to wrap up what's happened with the month of July and what the videos have happened. So after those videos, I then did Garway Church. So it's another trip back to Herefordshire. Stunning Garway Church. If you've not seen that video, perhaps churches aren't quite your thing, then just don't think that of it as a church, just watch it as a video. you won't be disappointed, because I was blown away when I opened those doors. There is a shot of me in the video, just opened the door. There isn't a camera facing me. When I looked in on the church, my face just was like, because it is a stunningly beautiful place, and with so much history as well. So yeah, that was Guyaway Church in Herefordshire, and if you are in that area, it is certainly a place well worth seeking out. So just briefly then, I did the Gloucestershire Woodland, which was the summer season. In fact, it's the second summer season, because I am visiting that woodland every 3 months. And again, it seems to have been quite well received. I think the first time I did the summer one, which would have been in summer of 2021, I think it only got like 30 views. So now we're up to like 160, 170 views on them. And they're steadily increasing as my subscriber base increases, and I'll tell you more about that in a bit as well. So that was that one. I also did 7-Way 5. I know I briefly mentioned that. The other thing to do with 7-Way 5 is when I was walking along the Montgomery Canal, there was 4 cyclists coming towards me. 3 of them, I kind of moved into the reed beds to let them pass. 3 went past. The 4th bike suddenly stopped and looked at me and said, "You Paul from West Country Wanderings?" And it was such a strange, surreal experience, because I was literally in the middle of nowhere. There was no town or village on that section of the towpath. And Wales isn't an area that I cover on my channel, as we were in Paris in mid-Wales, apart from obviously the 7-Way. And I had been recognised before in Gloucestershire and Worcestershire, but I didn't expect to be recognised there. It was such a weird experience. There was a gentleman called Paul from the town of Cheltenham in Gloucestershire who was on. I don't know him, not till I met him the other day, that is. But yeah, he was on holiday on a cycling trip. But that was a strange experience. So there's 2 other videos I did. Was the revisit to the village of Box. Now Box seems to keep coming up with wow, really fascinating things. We found an iron mine there this time. That was the key thing in that place. Also, perhaps there was another item there, which I didn't know what it was when I made the video. And since I've made the video and put it up now and edited it, somebody suggested it could be an ice house. What it is, I think that is entirely possible, because there is a large house there called, I think it's Holborn House. And it's entirely possible that is just outside their grounds. But ice houses were often started some way from the main house. And so yeah, that was probably what was happening there at Box in Gloucestershire, just on the edge of Minchinhampton Common. Fascinating one. And the final one I did this month, just recently gone up, of course, was Canal Update 10. Yeah, now, as you know, they're always very, very popular on my channel. The most popular things I do on my channel by far. I mean, I could, I suppose, just concentrate on doing canals, but to be honest, that would I would get a little bit bored of that. I love canals, don't get me wrong. And I think perhaps my viewers would as well, because I think we all like a bit of variety. So that's why I don't solely concentrate on canals. I am kind of known as to doing canals, particularly in the Gloucestershire, Worcestershire, and now the Wiltshire area. Obviously we saw a bit of canal today, didn't we? So I will be continue to include canals, and there will be an update 11. But that's gone down really well. I loved making that, and obviously particularly visiting Englisham for that one-off open day. That really was something. So that was the month of July. Lots of stuff coming up. We're going to head over to the horse and I'll tell you about the exciting news. See you in a bit. This would be a good place to tell you about the news that's coming up. Before I just mention about that, just some big thank yous. I've gained, I think I'm on about 860 now, 860 subscribers as I record this. Sometimes it fluctuates, it goes up down by the odd 1 or 2. So I think when I did last vlog I was on just coming up to 800, so I've gained 60 in past 4 weeks or so, which I'm pretty pleased with. I'm very pleased actually. So if you are a new subscriber to West Country Wanderings, first of all, a big welcome and a big thank you. So thank you for subscribing, and you're most welcome here on the channel. If you're not sure of the sort of things that I do, well, obviously I cover the West Country region, which is Devon, Cornwall, Gloucestershire, Worcestershire, Wiltshire, Somerset, Herefordshire. Have I missed anywhere out? I probably have. Other bits in between. Oh, Dorset, because we're going to be doing something in Dorset coming up as well. So all that, I don't try to cover everything in those areas. I try to seek out the more unusual places. Excuse the ambulance in the valley on the main A4 down there. I try to do some of the more unusual and less obvious places, like Calne, for example. There are very few YouTube videos on Calne. So that's why I decided to do the monthly vlog here today. So enough of that. Thank you also in the past month if you have either commented, shared or liked any of my videos. I really appreciate if you did any of those things. It really helps the channel out a lot. I know you probably get sick of us YouTubers, us creators, content creators, saying that all the time, but it really makes a difference, because sometimes you have a tough day with filming, something goes wrong, it starts raining, it's too windy, you're just having a down day, and then you get a nice comment and it really lifts you up to keep you going, because you think, oh, why do I want to keep going with this? But it really does help. And the more likes there are on a video and the more comments, the more YouTube in their algorithm will push the video, the more they'll promote it to people that wouldn't perhaps get to see your channel, indeed any of the other YouTube channels that perhaps you watch, or of my YouTube co-creators as well, which I'm going to mention about that in a minute. So what's this news all about then? Well, I've got, first of all, a big thank you to two particular people to do with this. One is Ron from Parkinson's. Ron, hi Ron, hope you're okay. And the other one is Louise from Southwest Sundays. Hi Louise. Thank you to both of you for coming up with this suggestion. So it's not a new idea. Now, I have mentioned social media before. I have got a Twitter account. I'll put up the Twitter details there. I don't just do West Country Wandering stuff on there, but I do a lot about my channel. I do links to my videos, photographs from when I on shoot, and other associated things to do with railways, canals and countryside, nature and all that sort of thing. So that's that. And I've got quite a few followers on Twitter, about 1,500 followers on Twitter. But it doesn't really engage me with other people, and you can't talk with other people that watch my channel. So what I've decided to do is go back onto Facebook. I've recently rejoined Facebook with a bit of trepidation. I hadn't actually disclosed my sign on there. So on Facebook, if you want to start following me on Facebook, you're welcome to do so. I'm Paul, simply Paul West Country Wanderings. And I'm going to start, as of now, by the time you read this, there is a new group on Facebook. It's already there, and it's called West Country Wanderings, and you'll see my familiar logo there, the strap line. And the purpose behind that Facebook group, it will be a private group, so you'll just need to request to join it, because obviously I don't want spammers or people that are just going to muck around on there. I want people that actually subscribe to my channel and follow me, and so we have a shared interest about this beautiful region here in England. You will be able to post videos and photographs of your visits to places in the West Country, not stuff that I've done. If you join the group and you've been to somewhere in, I don't know, St Ives, for example, in Cornwall, say you've been there and you want to share some photographs about St Ives and tell other people that watch my channel about your experience about St Ives and somewhere you had a great meal in St Ives, you'll be able to do that. So it's like a little group, a West Country Wanderers like supporters group, so you can talk amongst yourselves. You'll be able to talk to me, but you'll be able to talk to other people that watch my channel as well, having a shared interest. So that's the general idea. There's the logo below, there's the Facebook logo, West Country Wanderings, and that's the name of the group. If you just select to join that, and then it is, as I say, it's a pre-monitored, because you get these spammers and all this rubbish, don't you, sometimes. So it will be, carefully curtailed so it's only about the West Country. We won't be talking about politics or anything like that. It's purely to do with the things in the West Country and associated things to do with my channel and this beautiful region that we happen to explore, or you have an interest in if you're not there, because I've got viewers from all over the world that watch my videos about this lovely part of the world. So that's it. That's all I have to say on that. I just want to wrap the video up with a few thank yous. I want to start to wrap the video up. Before I do that, just a few thank yous to my co-YouTube creators. Firstly, two people that have been following my channel from the start. They got their own YouTube channels. They always comment on my videos, and I'm indebted to them for the support, particularly in the early days, and I will obviously continue to follow their channels and support them as well. So if you like my things, I'm sure you'll probably watch like Roy Edwards. Just put in Roy, R-O-Y, Edwards, E-D-W-A-R-D-S. Space between Roy and Edwards. His channel, he lives in Worcestershire, in the northern part of Worcestershire, so we kind of overlap in some of the bits and pieces we do. But he has a camper van, he goes off exploring around Cotswolds. He goes down to Devon and lots of other places as well in between. And he does far more output than what I do. I don't know how you do it, Roy. He does, often he'll do 2 or 3. He'll do at least 1 video a day, but he'll do 2 or 3 sometimes in one day. And he's recently done loads of stuff with the International Air Festival at RAF Fairford in Gloucestershire. So if you like your aviation, he's done loads of stuff on that. He's a really good photographer. He's done all kinds of things. Thank you, Roy, for your support. I really do appreciate it. It means a lot to me. Also, thank you to Debs from Deb's Most Excellent Adventures. I really do appreciate your support as well. Debs lives in South Devon, and she's recently come back from Bulgaria. And she's also been on holiday in Albania. So she's been touring around Europe a lot recently. And she's put up some excellent videos about those 2 countries. So if you want to check out those. And she also does content from South Devon and other places around the country as well. So highly recommend that. Thank you to both of you, really appreciate it. Also, Stephen and Yana from Stephen and Yana Explores. I forgot the name of your channel completely. I'm going to put that down along the bottom. It's been a long day now, we're talking to the camera. I put that there, but Stephen always comments on my videos, and I love his stuff. He does lots of exploration, history, castles, churches, medieval times, archaeology. If you like that sort of thing, if you like the sort of thing that I do, then I'm sure you'll like his stuff as well. He lives in the east part of England, in Essex, in fact, big county of Essex. I used to live in Essex as well, so I know that part of the world. It's too far for me to cover Essex. So if you want to see what happens in Essex, then I highly recommend Stephen and Yana. I'll put the full name of the channel just down the bottom there. Also, a big thank you to Ron from Parkinson's Walks. Ron lives like me in Gloucestershire, and he also covers things like canals and railways, old buildings, and walking in the Cotswolds. And he does some brilliant videos, and he's been on YouTube, I think, about 5 years. Got an extensive back catalogue of videos well worth dipping into. Somebody relatively new on YouTube is Louise from Southwest Sundays. Louise lives in the middle part of Somerset and does, like me, videos from all parts of the West Country. She does some brilliant content, it's really upbeat. Particularly some excellent ones on the seaside resorts. She went down to West Cornwall. She's recently done a video in Wiltshire in North Devon. It's an excellent video. Why not check out Louise from Southwest Sundays? Really good stuff. Loads of other people, far too many to mention, so if I missed you out this time, I'll probably get around to mentioning you next time if you're a regular contributor to my channel. And as I say, there are lots of you, and I will do some more shout outs in next month's vlog. So if you have commented, I really do appreciate it. And if, as I say, if you subscribed, shared or liked, I appreciate that too. Thank you for watching for this month. Just briefly tell you what's coming up next month. Well, obviously we'll be having 7-Way 6, which will be, as I've already mentioned, from Welshpool to Carew Green, and then 7 will take us into the fabulous city of Shrewsbury. There will also be more from the Herefordshire and Gloucestershire Canals. Sorry, I haven't been able to do anything this month. It was a busy month. I just couldn't fit it in. There was going to be something on that coming up soon. There'll be another Cotswold Walks. That'll be 9, I think it is, coming up. Also, there's going to be some railway content. Now, I'm going to have a trip to the East Somerset Railway at Cranmore. Just to the west, is it, of Westbury, kind of north of Shepton Manor, that kind of area. So yeah, we're going to have a look at the East Somerset Railway. I will also, at some future point, probably maybe September time when it gets a little bit quieter, take a trip down to the West Somerset Railway. I've had a few requests for that. I will, you're probably thinking a big missing. I know that I've done the Gloucester-Warwickshire Steam Railway a couple of times now. You're thinking, well, why haven't you covered the Severn Valley Railway? Well, I will be. But I'm going to be doing that when I get that further south on the Severn Way, and I hope to be covering that then. And I'll probably have future trips there. So there will definitely be some railway ones coming up, some steam ones, and also some history ones as well. So look out for those as well. And there'll be something from either the county of Devon or Cornwall, one of those two, and there'll be something coming up from Dorset too. So if you like that kind of thing and you don't already subscribe, you just dip into the odd one or two of my videos, then please consider subscribing. I don't expect everybody's going to ever enjoy all of the videos that I do, because I do try to have a wide range of different things that I do, but hopefully during the course of each month there'll be one or two videos which will be really up your street and be something that you really like. Thank you very much for watching. Take care of yourselves, look after yourselves, and I hope to see you on the channel again very, very soon. All the best for now. Take care. Bye-bye.